Hello everyone, this is Suzanne Knabe-Nicole from Police Science Doctor with your weekly dose of police science snippets. Now, these are little bits of information extracted from research that has been published in fields of police science, evidence-based policing, investigative psychology, forensic psychology, anything that's relevant to law enforcement, intelligence, and military, and everything that is in that pot with the whole thing. So Police Science Doctor tries to bring these research findings to people like you who don't usually get to see them because you don't have subscriptions to these research publications. So I try to find 3 such snippets that are practical or can somehow be put in place straight away, or something that can at least get you thinking. A lot of research that is published is either very abstract or very niche, or very specific, and it's not something that I would then select to present to you here. So I sent these snippets out to everyone who's on the free Police Science Doctor email list, and they get these sent into their inbox every Tuesday with a link to the original research. And then I also come onto social media, as you can see me do now, and I talk about them and try to put them into context a little bit. So the first snippet for this week is about combat sexual trauma and sexual violence and trauma. A literature review found. So a literature review is, I mentioned earlier that we're talking about studies that have been published. A literature review goes and scours a lot of studies that have been done on a specific topic. So it's not doing new research. What it's doing is looking at all the previous research on this particular topic that is of a good enough quality to be included in this review. And then it looks at a summary, what are all these findings. So literature reviews are very powerful in terms of what they can tell us. So this literature review found that military sexual trauma and combat exposure predict PTSD symptoms, post-traumatic stress disorder. Military sexual trauma is more related to depressive symptoms and suicidality, this is not an easy word, than combat exposure, and combat exposure appears to be more related to alcohol use and other externalizing behaviors. So very, very important issues that need to be dealt with in the military. The second snippet for today is about public order links. So these are when we have events such as demonstrations, concerts, marches, but also things that happen spontaneously, riots, for example. So this is what we talk about in public order here. And these links that we're going to talk about are people that work within the community and liaise with police, or work from the police in the community, with certain interest groups, faith groups, other groups or organizations that might perhaps organize an event that could then be a public order event. So having individuals embedded in the community who act as a trusted third party to link the police and the public can help de-escalate conflict in demonstrations and riots. Link officers, or intimate handlers, they're called in this research. I think this was done in Holland, so this is in the Netherlands. This is probably the translation. I don't think we would call them intimate handlers in English-speaking countries, and we'll probably think of other things here. Professor Clifford Stott has done a lot of research on public order policing, especially football events, and I think they call them what was the term they used? But they did some research here in the UK, and I think in Norway or some other Scandinavian country. And these are very, very useful to have around engagement officers or liaison officers or something like that. So they're called intimate handlers here. Let me just read that again because I digress a bit. So who act as a trusted third party to link the police and public can help de-escalate conflict, demonstrations and riots. So these link officers who work with community leaders before, during and after such events can help prevent and reduce violence, meaning we all should have them. Okay, every police force, every geographic area should put these in place. The third snippet for this week is about mental health within the police. The research found within policing, around 23% of officers have potentially clinical levels of PTSD, 26% have moderate to severe levels of anxiety, and 35% have moderate to severe levels of depression. Female officers, those of constable rank, so that's the entry-level rank, those working with victims of child abuse, and those with lowest levels of social support have poorer mental health. Very, very important research there. That something needs to be done. And actually, this article and the article before are open access, which means that you can actually read the whole article. Some articles that I send to you, many actually will be behind a subscription wall. So you can click on the link, you can see the abstract, which is a long paragraph giving a summary of the research and its findings, hopefully, not always. But it's then down to whether your organization or you have a subscription with the publisher that's publishing that particular journal. That is beyond my control, I'm afraid. But these last two articles are actually open access, which is great, which means you can read the whole article. So I hope that there was something of use to you in there. Next week, somebody has kindly sent me an article that I can include, and I would always ask you guys to do that. It's not easy every week to find 3 articles that I can include in here, not because there isn't great research done, but like I said earlier, my criteria are that it has to be something that's practical and usable straight away, and not all of them are. So I am going to include something that somebody sent me next week. Please do send me others if you come across them. And don't forget that if you are on a subscriber of the email list, it's free and you can leave anytime you want if you don't want to be on there. But you get access to the library of all these previous snippets. So 133 now. There will be 133 PDFs that you can download from the website, the read page of the Police Science Doctor website. Just Google Police Science and then go to the Police Science Doctor website, input your details into the form that pops up, or you'll find it at the bottom of each page. And you're on the list, and then you can actually get access to that page and build yourself a library of snippets if you want. And I'll see you again next week. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this content useful. You can get access to each episode's transcript with key learning points, timestamps, and references if you get yourself onto my mailing list. Just go to the main website on policesciencedoctor.com, and on the bottom of each page you will find a sign-up form for notifications of new content. Just enter your first name, your preferred email address, and the type of organization you work for. You will not get any spam. This is just for me to let you know about new content and for you to get access to all the transcripts.